Yes, yes, people, welcome back to the Magpie Channel TV. It might be Blue Monday, but it's a happy Monday over here, right? Because it's hopefully going to be another happy week for Eddie Howe's Black and White Army. We'll go down to the Emirates tomorrow night for a massive, massive semi-final first leg. We'll talk all things that towards the end of the show, and we'll also mention the transfer news, as I've said in the title, and what Eddie Howe has said in the press conference below. But before we do that, let's have a word from our sponsors. Very happy to announce that our brand new sponsor for the new year is StocksFC. StocksFC is the football stock market where you can buy stocks in your favourite players and earn cash rewards based on real world performances. And they are giving away 5 free stocks to every user that signs up this month through my link in the description or the QR code on your screen. So that gives you a chance to get started and get familiarised with the platform. You can scout young new prodigies and buy them early before the price potentially rises. Should have done that with Lewis Hall at the start of the season. Or you can buy stocks in proven stars. So right now, you'd obviously go ahead and get Alexander Isak snapped up. The bloke's in red hot form. He'd be the one you'd want to be backing in the market at the minute. And you can earn weekly dividend payments every time your players score goals, make assists and have key passes. So you can literally put your money where your mouth is. You think you got ball knowledge, you think you know your stuff, back it and reward yourself with cold, hard cash. So check the link in the description to get yourself 5 free loan stocks and begin your journey with StocksFC. Just thinking there as well, right, I love the 6th of January. Honestly, ever since last year, and I can't believe it has been 1 year already since Derby Day, since I hosted the fans on there at NX Newcastle, and shout out everyone that came along, what a day it was, and I'm sure everyone enjoyed it worldwide. If you were at the Stadium of Light, if you were at the NX Academy, wherever you were, in your living room, in the middle of bloody Bangkok, I know we've got viewers all over the place, just the first place that came into mind, you would have loved it. I loved it, what a day. A year already? Time is flying by. Hopefully we'll have another fan zone soon, like the Box Park Wembley one, if we do well tomorrow night. But before we talk about that preview, let's talk about what Eddie Howe has said today, and then we'll get on to the Dubravka stuff. So he's asked about the Arsenal test. What I liked Eddie Howe said about this in particular was the fact that he wants to just get used to playing these big games and not be such an emotional roller coaster, not have so much behind it. They acknowledge the fact that it's a massive important game, but it felt like in years gone by, you know, the Leicester game, the Southampton game, and then obviously the final itself against Man United, it weighed heavy on our inexperienced shoulders. And that was what Eddie Howe was asked a lot about in today's presser, the experience, you know, just Trippier come in, how much of a miss is Bruno, which we'll talk about in a minute. And he said he thinks he's got leaders now. He thinks he's got leadership. He doesn't think that's a weakness of this team. And he mentioned the fact that they're delighted to be where they are, but they're not letting that weigh them down, that expectation, that pressure. They're just trying to see it as a normal game. Go out there and play what is the first 90 minutes, you know, technically a halfway point of this 2-legged semi-final. But he mentioned they've got to be really good off the ball, solid defensively, cause Arsenal problems the other way. I don't think we should overthink it. We just need to get the mix right. Let's try and continue the good performance we've given recently and try and win the game. Will we go there to try and win the game? Talk about that in a minute as well. He was asked about Alexander Isak's form. He says he'll naturally feel like he scores every time he goes on the pitch. When you're on the run of goal-scoring games that he is, you know, but you've got to credit the team as well for helping Alex and giving him that service, which you do. Especially Jacob Murphy. This one, he put some respect on Murphy's name. I've stuck up for him for a while, to be fair. Obviously, at the same time, suggesting that we need a new right winger, and I still believe we do. But Murphy always used to be a bit of a scapegoat for me, and I know sometimes he was frustrating with his end product, and then sometimes he would go through these spells where he'd score goals and assists, and it's about getting that on a consistent basis. But having that right winger there, on the right now, that balance has helped us so much in the run we've been on, and his form has been spectacular, man. The goals and assists have been unbelievable, so credit to Murph as well, and he loves it. He's a Geordie, isn't he? Geordie at heart, Newcastle fan, so credit to him for stepping up. Right then, will Botman step up again on the weekend? Because he was asked about that, Eddie Howe, and the fatigue that he has suffered coming back and playing 90 minutes, remember? After not playing for, 300 days or something, he played 90 minutes at the Tottenham Stadium. Bit of a rusty opening 10 minutes or so, but really grew into the game and looked brilliant by the end of it. He said he feels good, he's naturally fatigued, but he's trained for a long, long time. It's not like he's being rushed back. He did very well, straight back in action, very pleased with him, and he handled the intensity. So on that one, Sven Botman, I think he'll play him again. And then obviously everyone can get a rest at the weekend. Do you know what I mean? With Bromley, we're very likely to make 11 changes. So everyone that has to go for it again at Arsenal will get rested the following weekend. Because for me, it is tough when you could see the lads were flagging in the last 10, 15 minutes at Spurs. I thought you could see that. So that is a slight worry of mine heading to the Emirates tomorrow night. But at the same time, I think, you know, the adrenaline, the game itself will level up. They have to level up with that one, you know what I mean? They've got to reach those performances to be the team we want to be and to get to another final. So they're going to have to produce once more, and like I say, then they can have a week off. You know, they can have the weekend off. You bring in your Asudas and your Mileys and stuff against Bromley and change up the defence and everything. So these have just got to turn up tomorrow night. They can have a nice little few days off at least, or a week or so, before the back in action, Wolves midweek in the Premier League. So we need a little bit more, lads. We need a last push after what's been a fantastic run. 6 wins in a row in all competitions. So, yeah, one more push tomorrow night, please. On further injury news, Anthony Gordon's out after getting absolutely smashed in the face by the Spurs player. I can't remember who it was now. Was it Bergvall or one of the defenders? Got that big nasty elbow to the face, didn't he? Broke his nose pretty much, you know what I mean? He had a piss in the blood his nose, so that was a nasty cut, Eddie Howe said. He said he thinks that should have been a penalty as well, which it definitely should have been. And, you know, he said he's all right though, and he should be good. We'll see how he is today, but he should be okay to play. So let's hope that's the case. After, you know, Arsenal have got a few of their key players missing. You think Saka was already missing for the Gunners. And then the one that's came in for him, Wanyeri, who did really well, scored at Brighton, he's now out as well. And Arsenal are saying that he's going to be out for a few weeks. So that's a big blow for them. But let's be honest, it's a boost for the Toons. So I'm not sure who's going to come in on that right wing for Arsenal. They still will have options. Listen, Arsenal are still a very good side. They are 13 games unbeaten. So it's going to be a really tough game, especially at the Emirates. We've only won there once. One win in our history. Do you know what I mean? But we've got to go back to those times a couple of years ago where we made it really difficult for them, where Arteta was whinging his head off like he seems to do every time he comes up against Eddie Howe and Jason Tyndall. He hates the dream team. He hates the dynamic duo, doesn't he? You know what I mean? He cannot stand them. But it's funny because Arsenal seem to have adapted those dark arts themselves in recent times. They've actually got the most cards for time wasting. Ironic that, isn't it? After all, the Arsenal fans were crying and Arteta was crying himself for the way Newcastle played at the Emirates a couple of years ago. Let's stink the place out again. I'm telling you, I'm going there tomorrow, people, so stay tuned. There'll be matchday vlogs, fan counts, everything. So make sure you subscribe so you don't miss a piece of that content. And I'm looking forward to it. And I'll take an ugly 0-0. Give me that 0-0 from 2023, was it? A couple of seasons back, all day long. I'll take that, bring it to St James Park, second leg, and get the business done then. That's what it's all about for me. It really is, you know. We've got to stay in the game tomorrow, even if we've got beat 1-0, 2-1, not the end of the world. We can make it back to St James Park. But if we can go there and get a result, which I think we will, I'm going to back a 1-1. I think we can go there, cause them problems, get in their face, make it difficult. They'll probably score 1, but I think we can get 1 as well. You know, the form that Isaac's in, Gordon's in, Murphy's in, everyone's in. The whole team. It's all about keeping it tight, not losing the tie on the first leg. We don't want to go there and get beat 3-0 and have a mountain to climb. So, yeah, keep things tight, keep things organised, frustrate Arsenal and try and get a goal as well. But there's no saying that we can't go there and win, to be honest. Like, I'd be absolutely buzzing with that, obviously, but the form we're in, we just went to Old Trafford and won, Spurs and won, you've been on fantastic, consistent form now, so there's no really stopping us, especially with Arsenal's injuries to some key players I've just mentioned before, and yeah, I think we can go there and get the job done, to be honest. Get a result would be absolutely wonderful, but if we could manage to get the win, wow, that would be incredible. But then it's still not over. We kind of get carried away. We could go there then tomorrow night, win 2-1, and we kind of think, well, we're at St James' second leg, you know, we're definitely through at the final now. Arsenal could still turn up at St James. So we need to turn up for both games starting tomorrow night. And like I said, I'll be there among 6,000 travelling Toon Army. What an atmosphere it's going to be. War flags, I've asked people to bring the black and white scarf, so we're heading down to the game, so get those waving to create that. That's going to be fantastic stuff. And there's a bit of history to be made in this game, actually, because it's going to be the first time ever when VAR decisions are announced in this stadium. So there's been no VAR throughout the Carabao Cup so far. As part of a trial, when the referee views that pitchside monitor, they will be explained over the stadium PA system by the referee. So any VAR decisions not made via the pitchside monitor are excluded from the trial and will be announced via a scoreboard messages, as is the case currently. So it's only if the referee goes over and double checks it and changes his mind, then we'll see a stadium announcement. So we'll see if that happens. Eddie Howe was actually asked in the presser as well, like, does he enjoy VAR? Does he agree with it? Would he rather it not be there? And he said we enjoyed it against Brentford when we scored and he knew he could celebrate, but he does understand the meaning of it and does quite like it, obviously, if they get things right. So I think that's probably where we're all standing, really. On to transfer news then, as the title of the video suggests. Martin Dubravka set to play his final game for Newcastle in that match against Arsenal tomorrow night at the Emirates. There was some positive news from Eddie Howe, to be fair, this time round in the press conference, where he said we still could make things happen this window. One thing could change where that results in incomings if we sell and we could buy, or one thing from another team could catapult things for a knock-on effect for everyone else to then be active in the market. So he says he's not there on the front line. You know, Mitchell's doing his work behind the scenes, and signings could be made this January. So he hasn't ruled that out, and he obviously didn't rule out Martin Dubravka leaving. It pretty much said he is leaving, to be fair. That's why I've put it in the title. Now, it really sounds like it's a matter of time before Dubravka does depart Newcastle United. It's not an if, it's a when. And I think it'll be after this game. There is rumours circulating, you know, that Saudi Arabia reports are suggesting the deal is done, the terms are agreed, and Newcastle will let him go once the whistle blows at the Emirates. Maybe just get on the plane from London straight to Saudi. Who knows? But because of the Bromley game that's coming up at the weekend, we are then likely to play Odysseas Lagedomos, and then we are likely to have Nick Pope back the following week, at least by the Bournemouth game on the Saturday. So do you give Lagedomos another chance during the week against Wolves? Can someone else come in? I mean, we've got plenty of keepers, but most of them are just training ground keepers, aren't they? You know, your Ruddies, your Gillespies and stuff, but Lagedomos should be allowed to come in and prove his worth. You know, he's a Greek international. He was at Benfica a couple of years ago. Sure, he's alright to step in for a couple of games against your Wolves and that and do a job in bloody Bromley. So, you know, we can't lose faith in that. And then obviously Nick Pope is meant to be back, like I say, in a week or so's time. So there's that option there where Pope's coming back. Odysseas will have a chance to stake his claim, a bit like Dubravka has done. And then there's still a possibility of James Trafford, the Burnley goalkeeper, signing in this window as well. That one obviously is more likely to happen during the summer, but who knows? You know, if you get your money for Dubravka, if Longstaff leaves, if Almiron leaves, Trippier even leaves, you know, if a few players leave and it frees up the budget, then you can go ahead and try and make that move happen. But if Burnley are asking for too much and they're trying to get promoted and whatnot, then it all might make sense for all parties to wait until the summer. But obviously Trafford is the one we'll be linked to for a while now. We had the bids in for him last summer, so whether he makes the move in the winter window now or in the summer window, it remains to be seen. So do we go out and replace the Dubravka, or do we just give the hope that Pope stays fit and then Lagedomos can step up if called upon? It's a risky one, like, because obviously there isn't much faith in Lagedomos. He's barely played a minute at the tomb, but it looks like, you know, the club themselves, and listen, we've hammered them for this. You know, you can say, oh, Dubravka's came in, did really well, you know. He hasn't had that many shots to make. He has done really well, and he's done well with his feet, and we're, you know, credit to him for that, but he hasn't been tested loads. But he has stepped up and he has performed, so fair play to him. But the thing is, the bloke turns 36 this month, or is it February, one of the two. So he's wanting to go. He's wanting the last payday. He fancies the idea of going to Saudi. And his contract's up in the summer. And Newcastle are thinking, well, if we even get a couple of million for him, better than out in the summer, get him off the wage books. And like I said, we've hammered the club for not doing this. Cashing in on players, taking little offers here and there, which we should have done years ago. So they're doing it now. You know, Mitchell's doing it now. They're all working behind the scenes to improve that. So as much as it is risky, considering Dubravka's form and Pope being injured, and actually Dubravka playing better than Pope, I guess, you know, on a football side of things, you'd want to keep him, but on a business side of things, you have to sell him. And I think that's what Howe said, actually. I've got it, yeah, you know, business logic is taken over from the football logic. Transfers in football there for the decision to allow Dubravka to leave. So I expect that one to happen very soon. Dubravka to Saudi Arabia. So it looks like it is going to be Dubravka's last game for Newcastle tomorrow night at the Emirates in the semi-final first leg, because they might have kept him as well. See, normally the semi-finals and that the two legs are played across 2 weeks. This one's a month. You know, the next second leg at St. Julian's isn't until the following month. So Pope should be back by then. I think that's what the club are thinking. But they want to keep him in for Arsenal, and then they think, oh, well, Bromley Wolves. We'll ease Odysseas back in and we'll let Pope come back from injury, and then who knows, we might even make a late move for Trafford. So there's the logic in their thing, and let me know if you agree or not. And remember, people, this video is brought to you by StocksFC. You can get involved. Scan that QR code on your screen right now, or hit the link in the video description. And remember, StocksFC is not a gambling product. It's not a get-rich-quick scheme. You know, it is a platform that is engaging and a rewarding way to connect with football in rewards and satisfaction from applying your football knowledge. So check them out, get involved, and let us know how you get on in the comments below. And finally, drop your score predictions in the comments below, subscribe to my Player Channel TV, and enjoy yourself.